Hello everyone and welcome back to another YouTube video. I know it's been a while since I've done a video like this. Most of my videos recently have either been for my podcast, which you should check out. It's called Boxes and Elbows. It's on Spotify and I obviously upload it here on YouTube, and I upload a bunch of shorts as well. And I do things like NBA trivia to talking about what's going on in the league. And recently, the Knicks just won a championship, so I've been talking about the Knicks. Basically, been glazing the Knicks for the past like month and a half ish. So, yeah, guys should definitely check that out. But today's topic is about the Toronto Raptors trading for Kawhi Leonard in a blockbuster deal. Here are the trade details. So here we can see the Clippers traded Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, two unprotected first round picks, one pick swap, and two second round picks. Now, that is a lot of picks, and they haven't, revealed what those picks are, what years the picks are from. But for Kawhi Leonard, I think this is pretty good trade value. You still get Brandon Ingram back, who is a solid player. He's not the talent of Kawhi, but he's still, a rotational player, even a good starter you can have on your team. And the Clippers weren't extending Kawhi, and obviously we all know the drama that happened between him with the contract extension and all that potential violation stuff. And the Clippers just said, nah, we're just gonna move on from Kawhi. And honestly, it's kind of weird seeing him back in Toronto. Obviously, you know that in 2019 he won a championship with Toronto and then left, and there was really no commitment to staying after that. And to see him back in Toronto like 7 or 8 years later is kind of crazy. From a basketball standpoint, this makes Toronto easily a contender in the East, probably a contender as a whole, because like you're banking on him being healthy, but like if he is healthy, you have a starting lineup of Quickly, Barrett, Kawhi, Scotty, and Pirtle. And obviously, I still think the Raptors need to make a move at center position, because I just think Jakob Pirtle he's cool, but he's not like a center you would start on a championship team, if that makes sense. Um, but the duo of Kawhi and Scotty alone is like ridiculous. The defense is gonna be insane. The offense is gonna be absolutely insane. There's no real pressure for Kawhi to have to backpack and score like 30 to 40 every night like he did on the Clippers for a little bit. And as a Knicks fan, I'm low key kind of scared of this, because the duo of Kawhi and Scotty alone is gonna cause trouble, especially for the Knicks wings. Like the Knicks prided themselves on trying to beat the Celtics, like a year ago when the Celtics had Brown and Tatum as bigger wings. So the Knicks countered that with OG and McHale as maybe not the biggest wings. OG's one of the bigger wings, but like the wingspans of those two and the way they can guard in perimeter and their offense, pose matchup problems for teams like the Celtics. And now the Raptors just did the exact same thing, except to the like almost to the Brown and Tatum level of like elite like two wings that can do a little bit of everything, and are dangerous on the perimeter and on defense. And low key, I'd be shocked if the Raptors aren't like a second round like floor. They should easily, like, I wouldn't say easily, but like because injuries and everything. Um, but if we come like May of next year and the Raptors are like in a game 6 or a game 7 of the conference finals against a team like the Knicks, like it wouldn't be surprising at all. We all know the talent of Kawhi, and honestly, this offseason as a whole has been just amazing. From LeBron is leaving, the Lakers. We've just gotten a lot of shakeup around the league. Giannis is on a different team. Didn't even talk about the Heat, but they should be good next year. And for Kawhi to go back to Toronto is like number one, a full circle moment. As I said earlier, he was on Toronto like 8 years ago. So to see him back in Toronto is crazy. And apparently he's going to sign an extension with Toronto, which is even the crazier part, because he didn't want to sign an extension the first time. But it's like, why did you even go to the Clippers? It's like when you went to the Clippers, it was cool. Everybody was loving it, teaming up with Paul George. rivaling the Lakers with LeBron and AD. Kawhi could have been on the Lakers, and he said, "Nah, I want to form my own team. I want to be on my own team. I don't want to be under LeBron." And they ended up doing jack shit other than like a conference finals in which they won like two games against the Phoenix Suns, who then went into loss in the NBA Finals. And yeah, I mean, the whole Clippers era as a whole was just a complete disaster. So it's very fitting that they move on and they're going to the youth movement. And now the Clippers starting five should be Darius Garland. Uh, I don't know. Like, Keegan Wagler is probably going to start, like, even if they re sign Bennett Mathurin. But backcourt of Darius Garland, Keegan Wagler, Brandon Ingram, Derrick Jones Jr., and who's their center again? Brooke Lopez, I think. Brooke Lopez is probably not starting. I don't even know if he's under contract for next year, but the Clippers, respectable, like 11th, 10th seed, maybe best out west, and you still get pretty good value in Brandon Ingram, and maybe you can turn Grady Dick into the player he was like his first year when he was actually solid. He wasn't on anything last year, which is why they basically he was a throw in. And I'm really curious to see what those unprotected first round picks are going to be and the pick swaps and the second round picks with the new draft lottery rules coming into play next year. And, you know, this is like a 2 or 3 year window of this rule or whatever. And then they're going to reevaluate it. And so the rule could get even crazier next year. So there's just no telling what the value of those picks are going to be. And we all know second round picks like barely mean anything in the league as is, even with the new rules coming in. But still good value for Kawhi Leonard, considering he came off his like healthiest 2 years in the last like basically since he was in Toronto. And Toronto is it's not really a gamble because Brandon Ingram's contract is pretty bad. I don't even like they kind of had to do that because either you keep Brandon Ingram or you just let him walk for nothing. And in this case, you walk away with Kawhi Leonard. So that's a win uh, on that contract front. Like they just ended up getting off of that contract, which is pretty lucky. And then Grady Dick, like I said, throw in. So it's not really a risky trade if you're the Raptors, especially when Kawhi already. I don't know if he like verbally said it, but it's like hinted in a lot of ways that he's gonna re-sign with the team. So no real risk. And yeah, it's one of those trades that like kind of shakes up the league. Like when he joined the Raptors the first time, it's like whoa, that came out of nowhere. Like you knew the Raptors were, they were under the shadow of LeBron, and LeBron left the East and whatever, but they want to capitalize on that window of okay, LeBron's out of here, but also teams around us like the Celtics and whatnot are going to be better. You project, and so they went in on Kawhi, gave up DeRozan, and now they're basically doing the reverse of that, getting Kawhi back, or they're doing the same thing. They're getting rid of Brandon Ingram. They were decent last year, but they want to get better with because they know the Knicks are still going to be good, and they know the Heat are going to be better and teams like that. So they want to put themselves in that tier instead of being like the solid like second tier of the East. And so it's very interesting. Like I said, it's one of those trades that shakes up the East, shakes up the league. And believe it or not, even as a Knicks fan, even though I'm like concerned because the Raptors might actually pose like a threat now. Like last year, I knew we were like through like 4-1 against the Raptors. Every time we played them, it seemed like the Knicks would just blow the shit out of them. Pause. 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 The Knicks would blow them out, and now it's like that's not even gonna be a question anymore. It's gonna be like either close games or Raptors wins against us. And yeah, we'll just see if Kawhi is healthy. I mean, he's healthy right now, so fingers crossed that he's healthy for majority of the season. And he is 35, so that's a little bit of a if you're the Raptors, like your window now is like really close. Like when you get Kawhi, your window is like now or never, kind of, at least to make the conference finals, and then see what happens from there. Um, but yeah, interesting trade. A lot of off-season stuff has been going on. I know I did a short on this, but Landry Shamet re-signed with the Knicks. Like I said earlier, LeBron's leaving the Lakers. We'll see what team he goes on, whether it's the Warriors, the Cavs reunion, or the Heat. I don't think the Heat is realistic, especially since there's nothing there for him, and they already have their kind of like, I wouldn't say like core, but like LeBron is definitely absolutely not a priority for them. So yeah, the league is shaking up. And definitely subscribe to this channel for more off-season talk and more YouTube videos. And I'm hoping to become more active on YouTube. I know I say that like every freaking year for the past like 7 years now, but I really feel good about this time because last time I tried to, go into YouTube, I like videos and identities of things that weren't really me. But the NBA, the sports, basketball is something that sticks with me, and it has stuck with me for the past like 10 to 11 years. And so to continue that, and I'm super interested in that. And so, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you check out Boxes and Elbows, link in the description. It's a podcast where I talk everything NBA. So if you want a little more than what these YouTube videos give you, definitely check that out. And I'm doing NBA trivia, which is really, really cool because as some of you know, NBA trivia can be really hard. It gives you players from like the 60s when I wasn't even born. And so I'm really going to have to dig in my basketball knowledge to come out on top in some of these trivias. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe. See you later.